Hey everyone, StandbyLuke7 here, and today we're going to be doing the Grand Finals for TRS Season 6 track preview. So the first track up here is Amazon 1, and this one should look familiar to hopefully most of you. We did race this one during the regular season, and again, there are 3 tracks in our Grand Finals here that were raced during the regular season, again, this being one of them. And do a couple laps around here and show some of the different line choices that you have on this track, some of the different ways you can tackle the layout. But yeah, this is a really good race during the regular season. I think probably the best race, if not best race, like easy top 3 as far as actually racing in it and spectating it goes. It was definitely one of the most fun races to participate in, and then spectating it was pretty crazy too because it was a super unpredictable race. There was a lot of cheese that happened. There was lap driver cheese. There was big collisions, big pack battles. It was a great track. But there you go. There's Amazon 1. Again, you should know most of what's going on there. And that'll be 32 laps. 32 laps on Amazon 1 for our opening race of the night. So then we go to Silver Beach. Silver Beach, one of our new tracks. This one for Reach. And having not being raced during the regular season, so this one shouldn't look very familiar. Maybe the map will look familiar because we did have a track that was raced on this map, but the track itself should not look familiar, although I wouldn't be surprised if some of you see certain sections that are like, oh yeah, I feel like we've raced through that before. It's true, there are definitely sections of the map that were used in that previous track, but all used in a different way on this one. At least if there's a part of it that's used in the same way, I can't think of it. I don't think there is. It seems to all be utilized in a different way than it was in that previous track. So that's pretty cool. It's usually what we look to do. And it's going to be 14 laps. So 14 laps, and the checkpoint will be 169 for this one. So again, Silver Beach, and we'll do another lap here. And on this lap, I'll show some different lines that you can take on this track. It's 2 main parts, and you could probably see it on the previous lap where the berms are, that you have some different line options there in those parts of the track. So we're coming up to one of them here. And yeah, so you can run this inside here. And unless you can really stick it on the inside, and then even then, I think it's the slower line, and you could do this here too. I think it's the slower line, but I think the idea, obviously, is you could get pretty cheesy with it. Like, you could definitely pull some crazy, like, block pass maneuvers with those inside lines. So we'll have to see, if they're used, and if people do use them during the race, how they're used. Obviously, it's going to be hard to tell because this track hasn't been raced before. It's not like it's one of those regular season tracks where it's like, oh yeah, this is how it went in the regular season. No regular season race for this one. So no idea how that's going to go. No idea if people are going to use them or not. And if they do, how are they going to use it? It'll be interesting to see. I could definitely see them being pretty good in the early laps, maybe to like get yourself some track position. But now here we go to TRS. This is Halo 2 anniversary track, and this is another one that was raced during the regular season. And it's pretty simple layout, pretty quick layout as well. We'll be doing 24 laps on this one. Checkpoint count will be 169 again. Total coincidence on that, I swear. But it'll be 169 again on the checkpoint count. And this lap will show the inside lines. So alternate line choice that you have. That one's not too bad. I can see that one getting utilized a little bit. This one I'm not so sure about. It might be a similar case to the last track where these lines during the race probably won't be used that much. But, maybe on the first lap for track position, I could see them being pretty good options. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm not really too sure. Have to wait and see what the drivers come up with. Then we go into the first Halo 3 track, and this one is Descendium. Very excited for this track because we've got a cross jump. Yeah, so we wanted to cross jump at some point throughout the season. Unfortunate that it took all the way to the Grand Finals to do it, but finally here in the Grand Finals we're doing it, and you can see it here. There it is. Little cross jump collision action for this track, which is pretty interesting. I'm definitely curious to see how that one plays out, and I think this track could be a wild card track on the night because cross jump, the physics, like, it could get weird. The collisions, there could maybe not be that many collisions on this track, but when they do happen in that cross jump, they could be really brutal. And then also you have the other collision over here. How bad is this collision? Is it as bad as the cross jump? Is it not as bad? Maybe you get hit a few times in this collision and it's not that bad, but you get hit once in the cross jump and you'll lose a lot of track time. I don't know. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe the cross jump's not that bad. Oh, alternate line choice there too. You get those little bouncers off the wall. It's pretty fun. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it plays out. I honestly don't know. I'm curious to race it. I think this is one of the most interesting tracks in the night. I'm just really curious to see how it plays out. I don't know what to expect. And then we go to the next Halo 3 track on the same map, but a different track, different part of the map as well, Chromic. This one is more like classic TRS style, and I like this one quite a bit. I think this one should be pretty fun. Pretty simple layout, pretty short and sweet, but pretty fun to run laps on. And we'll see how the collisions play out. I think they could be pretty brutal. There's some parts of the track that are pretty tight, a lot of parts that are pretty wide open. It's got a good mix there. Yeah, overall, pretty solid track here. And then on this next lap, I'll show. Oh, I know what I'm gonna show. So at the end, like right before the finish line, there is some cheesy alternate line choice that you can take. I don't really think you want to take it. I don't really think there's a big reason to take it. Maybe I'm missing something, but it is funny, so I do want to highlight it because it is funny and it is an option. So you got a couple options here besides taking that jump. Split the D on those barriers and then come back into the finish. That's one thing you could do. And then another thing you could do is just slam through them and get some levolution on the track, get some debris on the track. So that's pretty funny. I don't know if anybody's going to do that. I don't know if you're supposed to do that. But it's fun. It's fun, and I like that it's an option. Now we go to Reinhardt, our final H2A track that we made for the Grand Finals. There you can see after the start, there's a bit of a start ribbon with pallets on the finish line. That'll be interesting. I'm very curious to see how the start of this race plays out because of those. Yeah, that'll make the start on this track very, very interesting. Those pallets are obviously going to cause some cheese on the first lap, and we got a pallet there as well. So bringing back the pallet cheese a little bit on this track, on top of other aspects of it. But the pallets on this track, though, they do not respawn. So all of them, even the one that's like more in the way of the track, not the finish line one. All the pallets, when you hit them, they're gone. So that is something to remember. You don't have to worry about them spawning in randomly and cheesing you. As soon as you knock them out, you're good to go. Don't have to worry about them. And again, the finish line pallets should be gone on the first lap. I'll be surprised if any of them are left standing. And then also the outside line option pallet should also be gone at the end of the first lap. I'll be very surprised if that one gets left open. But this lap trying to show some of the alternate lines. Kind of cheese the inside line a little bit there, but you can see the idea of it. But yeah, this track, kind of like another one of those MXC style tracks, definitely inspired by Amortentia in this one, with some of the MX style like jumps and bumps and stuff like that. But obviously a lot tighter than an MX track for this one. Definitely a lot tighter. There are some more wide open parts of the track, but yeah, for the most part, this one is like 2 wide max throughout most of it, and some areas like only 1 wide. Oh, at the end there, I wanted to show the outside line without hitting the pallet. That's what that was. But yeah, should be a lot of collisions. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of collisions. That track will be interesting. I don't know. With all the collisions and stuff, that could be a wild card race, essentially. We'll see how that one plays out. Now we're back on Millport. Oh, I forgot to give the laps. I was giving the laps earlier. I forgot to do it. So, Descendium, the first Halo 3 track's 20 laps. The second Halo 3 track's 22. And then the H2A we were just on, Reinhardt's 18. 271, though, on the checkpoints. Now we go to Millport, which is 25 laps, 176 on the checkpoints. And I don't have much to say about this one because we just watched it. We just watched it. This was the final race of the regular season. This is the Reach vote-in. So yeah, not too much to say about Millport here, again, because I did a track preview on this already, and we also literally just raced it. So, yeah, I think you should know what to expect from this one. Although I will say, we didn't show this in the preview. There is a little alt line here that you can potentially take in certain situations, so that's kind of interesting. Didn't show that in the last track preview here, so you got that. Little intel. Marv! We love Marv. All right, so now we go on to the last track here. Halo 4 track, made for the Grand Finals, not the vote-in for this one. 35 laps here to close things out. We got a fast, tricky chicane. We've got a tricky, bumpy cave section here where you can very, very easily cheese yourself. It's harder than it looks. Got a jump into a collision. A tight corner here. Another like cave section here with an obstacle. We got a little inside bump there. Collision there as well. Collision here going into the chicane, I mean. And then on this next lap, I'll show you guys the Jokers. That's what we got to shake up this track in this last race. Got a Joker. First time. Was hoping to do it at some point during the regular season, but kind of like the cross jump didn't end up happening, so here we go in the Grand Finals. Add in a track with the Joker. I'll have to figure out how many Joker laps. Haven't decided yet if we're doing like 1 Joker, 2 Joker. Haven't really decided on that yet, so we'll have to figure that out. But there's a running of it there. Get a lot of speed coming down the hill into the collision and into the chicane. So yeah, should be a pretty simple, should be a good like battle track to end out the night on. Hope you guys enjoyed the track preview. Hope it helps you out a little bit. And see you for the grand finals tomorrow. Tomorrow! It's already here. Hope you guys are there.